Find your cravings on your mouth. You know that moment when the cookie magically finds its way into your hand, and before you even realize what's happened, you're taking a bite and you're thinking, why do I always do this? Or maybe you find yourself standing in front of the fridge, scanning the shelves, not because you're actually hungry, but maybe because you're bored, you're stressed, you're lonely, or restless. You reach for something comforting, even though you know it's not what your body needs. And again, that familiar question comes up, why do I always do this? We often think that the problem is our mouths or our willpower. And we tell ourselves, if I could just stop eating junk, or if I had more self control, then I could finally get it together. Your mouth is not the problem, it's your critter brain. We've talked about the critter brain before. It's the oldest part of your mind, the part that is wired for survival and not success. It's the instinctive, emotional part of your brain that reacts before your logical mind even gets a chance to weigh in. Its job is simple. The critter brain wants to keep you safe and comfortable. When you're stressed, tired, or overwhelmed, your critter brain sounds the alarm and says, danger, danger, discomfort. And because it doesn't know the difference between real physical danger and emotional discomfort, it tries to protect you in the fastest way possible, often by sending you straight to food, because that's what it's always done. And that's why you find yourself reaching for chips when you're anxious or ice cream when you're sad. Your critter brain is trying to help you feel better right now. It's not thinking about long-term goals, the scales, your waistline. It's just doing what it was wired to do. Seek pleasure and avoid pain. And the problem is your mouth is just following orders. Think of your critter brain like an internal GPS system. Your logical, conscious brain might have entered the destination of healthy, energized, and confident. But if your critter brain is still programmed to take you to emotional eating lane or all or nothing avenue, you're going to end up in the same frustrating place over and over again, stuck, disappointed, lost, wondering why nothing ever seems to change. Here's something that you might relate to. Have you ever driven to a familiar place, like your favorite coffee shop, work, a friend's house, and you arrive without even remembering the drive? And you think, well, I know I got here safely, but I don't remember taking specific turns, lights, or streets. You might even wonder, how on earth did I get here? I did that one night. I came home from seeing my kids, and when I got home, I could not remember which direction, which streets I took home. And that's exactly what your critter brain does when it's on autopilot. It knows the route and it will take you there, even if you weren't paying attention. When your brain believes thoughts like, I can't control myself around junk food, or I've already messed up today, so I might as well keep it going, it starts navigating you towards those exact outcomes. Your behavior follows your thoughts automatically, usually without you even realizing it. Now, the good news is that you can reprogram your critter brain. You can update the directions so that your mental GPS actually leads you to where you want to go, toward balance, trust, and lasting health. So, how are we going to do that? It's going to take some practice. It's going to take some intentionality. Number one, pause and identify the thought. Before you reach for food, take a moment and check in with yourself and ask, what am I really feeling right now? Are you physically hungry, or is your critter brain trying to soothe something else? Maybe it's boredom, maybe it's stress, maybe you're just tired and your body is begging for rest, not a snack. Think of it like scrolling on your phone out of habit. You didn't mean to set out to scroll for 20 minutes, but somehow you're 3 feeds deep before you even notice. That's autopilot at work. Your critter brain is doing the same thing with food, guiding you on a familiar route without asking if you really want to go there. And if you pause long enough to name what's actually happening, saying, I'm stressed or I'm lonely, I'm overwhelmed, then you take the steering wheel back from your critter brain. You remind yourself that not every urge to eat is actually hunger. The simple act of awareness is very, very powerful. It interrupts that autopilot mode that keeps you stuck. The moment you pause, you move from reacting to responding, and that's where your power lives. Number 2, challenge the old directions. When your critter brain pipes up with one of its favorite lines, like, I deserve this treat after such a long, hard day, or just one cookie won't hurt, take a breath and question it. It's okay to have the cookie. Absolutely, you can have a cookie. But the key here is to be aware of why you're eating that cookie. Ask yourself, what else do I deserve right now? Maybe it's rest, peace, or just a little bit of compassion. Ask yourself, will this choice make me feel better in an hour, or will I feel worse? Am I consciously choosing this, or am I just running an old program? Am I just following old directions? You're not arguing with your critter brain. You just need to gently teach it that there are better routes to safety and comfort. Think of an old road that's got potholes and it's jagged, and then there's a new road that will get you there faster, more smoothly, with less damage. Why would you keep going down the old road when you could go down that nice, shiny, smooth new road? And that's what we have to teach our critter brain. We have to give our critter brain new directions. We need to start catching ourselves before the cookie even makes it to our hand. The more you question your automatic thoughts, the weaker their hold becomes. Number 3, rewrite the route. Once you've caught an old thought, replace it with one that moves you closer to your goals. Instead of saying, I can't stop eating once I start, try saying, I trust myself to enjoy food in a way that supports my goals. Instead of saying, well, I already messed up today, I might as well start again tomorrow, try saying, every bite is a chance to choose differently, and I can start right now. Every time you reframe your thoughts, you're laying down new neural pathways in your brain. You're teaching your critter brain to do something different, literally rewiring it to see you as capable, consistent, and in control. And the beautiful part is your brain will listen. The more often you practice the new thoughts, the more natural they begin to feel. And soon your critter brain, your inner voice, starts sounding less like a panicked critter and more like a calm, confident guide. Number 4, make a micro shift. You don't have to overhaul your entire behavior overnight. In fact, trying to do too much too fast will usually trigger your critter brain into panic mode. It hates change that feels unsafe. And you know that. We've all done it. So instead, aim for micro shifts. Do one small thing differently. Before you eat, maybe drink a glass of water. Step outside. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Put your fork down between bites. Take a 5-minute break to stretch or move your body. Think of it as though you're taking a new route home just to avoid traffic. You might get somewhere a little bit differently, but the small change tells your critter brain, we can handle this. Tiny shifts signal safety to your critter brain. They say, hey, we're okay. We're not in danger. It's going to be all right. And that calm feeling gives your logical brain room to step in and make a more mindful choice. Number 5, practice compassion, not perfection. This has been a key point that we've been talking about a lot lately. And one of the biggest traps that your critter brain sets is perfectionism. It says, if I can't do it perfectly, then what's the point? And then the moment you slip up, it uses shame to pull you right back into the old habits. But healing your relationship with food is not about perfection. It's about progress. Every time you pause, every time you challenge a thought or make a micro shift, you're retraining your critter brain and building a new pattern, one compassionate choice at a time. So when you do have that cookie, don't turn it into a full-blown guilt trip. Instead, practice curiosity. Ask yourself, what was I feeling right before I reached for that cookie? That gentle awareness teaches your critter brain that you don't need to hide, you don't need to punish yourself, and you don't need to start over. You just need to keep learning. Again, I'm going to say small shifts will equal big results. The journey isn't about never eating a cookie again. It's about learning to understand yourself, your triggers, your thoughts, and your patterns so that you can make choices that align with the life you want to live. If the life you want to live eats a cookie once in a while, super. But if the life you want to live says, I'm not going to eat 8 cookies, then those are the changes, the choices that you need to make. You need to make better choices. Your mouth is not the problem. It's just doing what your critter brain has told it to do. The real power lies in reprogramming your thoughts. When you update your mental software, then your actions naturally begin to follow. Every single moment gives you another chance to choose differently, wisely, and out of self-love. Every pause builds self-trust. Every small shift rewires your critter brain. Every act of self-awareness strengthens your confidence. Over time, those small moments are going to add up to lasting transformation. And you begin to notice that you're less reactive, you're more grounded, and more in tune with what your body truly needs. And I'm sure that you have seen some of that up until now. And now we're at a point where we need to continue to rewire and retrain our critter brains, especially when you start to feel the self-sabotage kicking in. When you can give your body what it really needs, that's when you realize that you've stopped fighting food and that you've started leading yourself. You're no longer letting your critter brain drive. You're no longer letting your critter brain tell you the directions. You're in the front seat now. Your hands are on the wheel and you are choosing your direction with clarity and care. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, oh, why do I always do this? Pause, take a breath, and then smile, because now you know the truth. It's not your mouth, it's your critter brain. And you're the one with the power to retrain it.